Doing?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Great, thank you. Yes, congratulations on season two. Loved it, binged it over 2 evenings.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yes.
great. You've seen more than I have. I only saw the first three episodes yesterday.
So Benji and Victor kind of came out at sort of different, they're at kind of different stages. They came out at different times, and Victor's parents are sort of coping with things in their own way with the
Yeah.
news. Like, how is sort of Benji dealing with all of that, those differences between them, would you say?
Yeah, you're right. They definitely are at sort of different places in that regard. Like when you're sort of the season starts kind of where it left off, and obviously you have Victor and Benji in their summer bubble. They're kind of in this honeymoon period. And then coming out of that, it's like, Victor has to navigate sort of difficulties of coming out in high school in today's age. And Benji has to learn to be, I guess, a little more understanding along the way, and a bit more patient, and supportive. And yeah, you definitely see the showrunners and the writers did a great job, I think, of bringing you into that conflict there, but also showing you the sort of joys in celebrating who you are and living your truth.
And there's lots of kissing, and the issue of sex comes up.
Mm-hmm.
And Benji has one line to Victor's mother when there's a scene where she sort of walks in on them and says, would you be as upset if it was Victor with a girl?
Yeah.
And I think similarly, kind of the representation of LGBTQ characters on screen has been seen through that sort of similar lens, in that what's shown between straight couples is kind of, kissing. No,
Yeah.
That was a different way. So just wonder how conscious you were of that, with the fact that with season two, especially, Love Victor is really sort of pushing things forward, I think,
Yeah.
in terms of representation.
I agree. Yeah, I think so too. I think like ultimately, like me and Michael, when we're working together and doing these scenes, like we just want to sort of really honor the writing. I think, we have a lot of great writers who are LGBTQ and bringing that, like, their truth to these stories and authenticity to them. So, I think he's a great sort of actor to work with in regard where we're both very dedicated to that and wanting to sort of just do our best to honor that. So yeah, it was definitely, but it's definitely something we thought about, and I'm glad that there's lines like that in the show, because yeah, it's like presenting the truth of things, like Ben, in terms of like Benji's, what he said to the mum, yeah, to his mum, yeah.
And Benji becomes a basketball boyfriend at one point.
Yes.
I love that dance sequence. So, how much of a dance background do you have, and what was that
Yeah,
scene like
I
shooting?
grew up as a dancer, actually. Like I almost did it sort of as my career instead of acting. I was a break dancer though, for like primarily that was what I was really into. And then and I would compete, and I was part of this sort of dance like group, and it was so much fun. It was an amazing part of my life, and it's cool to be able to work now as an actor and then occasionally, pop out the baby freeze or something.
Yeah, so when it came to doing a little bit of breakdancing, was that kind of your input? Was that
I
your
threw
idea?
that in. Yeah, that wasn't there originally. The choreography, like obviously I had to learn that. And so we did, a couple of days of rehearsals, and then I wanted to sort of put my own thing into it at the end there. So I don't know if that made the cut. I haven't personally seen that, so I'm hoping it did.
Well, you definitely got to see a little bit of your breakdancing moves.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. That's good.
And this show's meant a lot of people, a lot to so many people, sort of younger people and people sort of my age, and even people
Yeah.
older than myself too. And I
Mhm.
wondered what kind of feedback you might have had from people, and if there was anything particular that kind of really struck you and made you almost sort of think, well, this project was worthwhile doing,
Oh,
even for that.
100%. Every day, I get messages probably on a daily basis at the moment. And they're always so like positive, and like people like really like, yeah, particularly from like LGBT youth that are like seeing this show and it's making them feel seen and heard. And it's such a like, it really is an honor to be a part of a project that's having that impact. But then also, yeah, some of my older friends who are gay, like they say to me, like, they watch the show and then they usually say like, wow, I wish I had a show like that growing up. So that also means a lot. I hope it means that, yeah, there is a demand for stories like this, and hopefully we continue to go in that direction.
So just finally, when you were growing up, was there a show where there was a character that you really identified with and thought, made you feel kind of like seen and kind of represented?
Um, I mean, I was a big fan of like all the CBBC shows growing up in England, but I'm trying to think now. I want to give you a good answer, but I can't like have anything crop up in the top of my mind.
What was one of your just like childhood favorites? Yeah, because I obviously grew up in the UK and live in the US now too.
Yeah. Oh, you do? You live in the US as well? Yeah. I'm trying to think. I mean, I loved Tracy Beaker.
Oh, I didn't know that. What's that one?
Tracy Beaker. Do you remember that? Oh, it was a CBBC show. It was really good. It was about sort of like a care home and like sort of the kids there. What else did I grow up watching? A lot of Disney Channel stuff that was always, buzzed in from the US. I loved film as well. Like I remember, like I know this isn't quite the answer, but watching Chris Nolan's The Prestige, it made me want to be a magician, which I was for a little bit when I was younger and wanted to do that. I was a like a magician at weddings and stuff.
When we interview you another time, we're going to get you to do a trick.
Okay, yeah, we'll do it. When we have more time. If I had some cards, I'd do one now.
George Sear, thanks very much. Great chatting to you. Congratulations on season 2.
Thank you so much. Cheers.
Bye.